Okay, today we are going to see biological oxygen demand. We'll see some definition. Okay, what's the meaning of biological? We have already seen some definition. BOD, how to calculate the BOD level. We will see later. Biological oxygen demand is a measure of amount of dissolved oxygen required to break down organic material in a given volume of water through aerobic biological activity by microorganism. We will see what's the meaning of later. Aerobical biological activity. The biological this is a definition. The biological oxygen demand. Then biological oxygen demand, also called biological biochemical oxygen demand, BOD, also called biological oxygen demand, is the amount of dissolved oxygen needed by an aerobic biological organism to break down organic material. Organic materials. What's the meaning of organic material? Organic material means the CH component material, carbon and hydrogen and oxygen. Material present given water sample, certain temperature over specific time period. The BOD value is most commonly expressed in milligrams of consumed per liter of sample during 5 days. Most commonly expressed means it will calculate during 5 days of incubation at 20 degrees Celsius. What's the meaning of incubation? The incubator, you heard about that word from the hospital, the incubator, incubation at 20 degrees Celsius, and is often used as surrogate of degree of organic pollution of water. BOD can be used as the gauge of the effectiveness of wastewater treatment plants. It is listed conventional pollutant in the US Clean Act. BOD is similar in function chemical oxygen demand in that both measure the amount of organic compounds in water. Biological oxygen demand is the chemical procedure determining the rate of uptake dissolved oxygen by the rate biological organism in body of water by oxygen. It is not an precise quantity test, although it is widely used as an indication of quality of water. Dilution method. To ensure that all other conditions are equal, a very small amount of microorganisms is added each sample being tested. Undiluted initial dilution oxygen minus final DO is equal to BOD. Diluted, the initial DO minus final DO minus BOD of seed into dilution factor. The BOD test takes 5 days to complete and is performed using a dissolved oxygen test kit. The BOD level is determined by comparing the DO level of water sample taken immediately. The DO level of water sample that has been incubated at the dark location for 5 days. The differences between the DO levels represent the amount of oxygen required for the decomposition of any organic material in the sample and is a good approximation of BOD. So BOD test at laboratory of a wastewater treatment plant. Taking sample from the raw wastewater stream for BOD measurements at wastewater treatment plant. The method for measurement of BOD, manometric measurement method. This is method limited to the measurement of oxygen consumption due to only to carbonaceous oxidation. Ammonia oxidation is inhibited. So water quality. Some of the most basic and important measures: dissolved oxygen, biochemical oxygen demand, solids, nitrogens, bacteriological. Typically measured by DO propan meter. This is an electronic device to measure the dissolved oxygen, right? The standard BOD test requires 5 days to complete, unable to provide continuous monitoring of organic load. COD, what we can see, what's the meaning? Chemical oxygen demand and BOD, the difference. COD is often used for BOD screening. Both involve as a two-step process. Step oxidation of organic matter, step 2 measurement of extent of oxidation. So BOD test. This is the arrangement, room arrangement. So dark 20 degrees Celsius, time standard for 5 days. This is the sum of the graph. The I is equal to initial dilution oxygen, phi F is equal to final. If the DO is used up, the test is invalid. As in B above to valid, the dilute the sample as in B above the curve. You can see the graph. So what's the meaning of A, B, C? To get the valid test, dilute the sample above. In this case, sample was diluted by 1:10. What's the meaning of dilution means? It can add the water. Additional water is a meaning. Adding water is called diluted. The BOD can then be calculated 1 minus F. I minus F. What's the meaning? I is the initial BOD, sorry, initial dilution oxygen concentration, this one. And final DO. D is equal to dilution as the fraction. Biochemical oxygen demand and chemical oxygen demand are ubiquitous measurements of overall water quality. Among the most diagnostic parameters for the determination of water quality in natural waterways and waste streams. COD measures is the equivalent amount of oxygen required to chemically oxidize the organic compounds in water. Water BOD measures the equivalent amount of oxygen. The standard BOD tests require 5 days to complete, unable to provide the continuous monitoring of organic load. COD is used for screening, both involves two-step process. Step 1, oxidation of organic matter. Step 2, Measurement of extent oxidation. The uses the standard COD method. The uses hazardous chemical. We can measure the concentration of the hazardous chemical content in the water or wastewater. Right? The dichromate concentrated acid mercury to oxidize the organic carbon in water, CO2 and H2O. CO2 minus, this ionization of. The samples are digested at 150 degrees Celsius, 2 to 3 hour process with cooling time. The oxygen demand is determined by amount of oxygen consumed using a spectrophotometer or titration method. Titration method means I think previous class we see some titration method, Wingler's method. That method is called titration, right? It's titration. Then nanotechnology based approach. Painted sensor, there's a nanotechnology method. UV means ultraviolet activity. TiO2, titanium dioxide, photocatalyzed, powerful oxidation potential of TiO2 gives a true measure of COD. COD analysis can now be done by operations of staff member. This is the nanotechnology based on based approach. COD applications, important thing this one. COD application, incoming COD monitoring, in-plant COD. What's the meaning COD? Chemical oxygen demand. Normally, you know, chemical oxidation. If Fe means the iron react with oxygen. So iron can be consumed particular amount of oxygen. So we can determine how much concentration is present in the sample. That's a chemical oxygen demand. So we have to calculate the concentration of chemicals like the harmful chemicals, the manganese, the ferrous, like that. So we can calculate that's a chemical reaction. Likewise, by BOD also, the microorganism can be consumed by oxygen. So we can add the known concentration of oxygen into the water sample after a few days, normally 5 days. We can measure the balanced concentration of oxygen. So we can calculate how much organism is present in the sample. Likewise, BOD and COD, right? So you can understand Barsadbaran and BOD and COD, right? In plant COD monitoring, process optimization, industrial. COD analysis, multi-parameter, speeded accuracy, safety of employee. The overcomes the weakness of traditional COD analysis. COD analysis means chemical oxygen demand analysis, resulting only 15 minutes, no use of dichromate harmful reagents, easy to use system for all operation staffs. Nanotechnology provides more accurate measure of the COD, excellent screening tool for BOD. That's one of the most advanced technological things. But I think in our laboratory we don't have that one. Nanotechnology, only titration method is available from laboratory and university laboratories and in industries also. The recognized and used by the Ontario Ministry of Environment. This one, right? Excellent BOD test. Chemical oxygen demand. In environmental chemistry, the chemical oxygen demand COD is commonly used to indirectly measure the amount of organic compounds in water. Most applications of COD determine the amount of organic pollutants. In surface water, the lakes and rivers or wastewater, making COD a useful measure water quality. It is expressed in milligrams per liter. We already see that ppm. We will speak in the ppm, the concentration. 1 ppm, how much liter per liter water? The chemical oxygen demand is a chemical oxygen demand define the amount of specified oxygen that reacts with the sample under control condition. The quality of oxygen consumed is expressed in terms of oxygen equivalence. COD often is used as measurement pollutants in wastewater and natural waters. The related analytical values are biochemical oxygen demand, total organic carbon, and total oxygen demand. BOD is measure of oxygen consumed by microorganism under specific conditions. TOC is measure of organic carbon in a sample. TOD is measure of amount of oxygen consumed by all elements in sample when complete oxidation is achieved. Right? The sum of electronical device to measure the COD and BOD. The COD calculation meter, this electronical device, the sensors they can automatically calculate. COD checking meter. The water quality, this is an important parameter. This one, BOD level in milligram per liter. 1:2, very good. There will not be much organic matter presence in the water supply. 3 to 5, modern clean. 6 to 9, 3 to 5, moderately clean. It should be cleaned. So it should be treated. Meaning cleaning means treated. 6 to 9 poor, somewhat polluted, usually indicate the organic matter present and organic matter presented and microorganism are decomposing that waste. Very poor, very polluted, contain organic matter. The sum of the device The overcomes and weakness of traditional COD analysis result in only 12 minutes, sorry, 15 minutes. No use of dichromy. So already we see this one, right? So dissolved oxygen, we already see some parts, some portion of them. We will see this one. Dissolved oxygen. We can see how to calculate the dissolved oxygen in presence of water. The amount of oxygen dissolved gels available to sustain marine life, body of water such as lake, river or stream. Dissolved oxygen is the indicator of the water pollution. So, you know, this as a dissolved oxygen is the indicator of water pollution. DO levels in natural and wastewater depend on physical, chemical, and biological activities in a water body. Amounts of oxygen that can be dissolved in water by temperature. It is usually determined by Wingler's method known as iodometric method. Method was developed by L.W. Wingler, a Hungarian chemist in 1888. The Wingler method with SI modification, Osterberg SI modification, radial Stewart modification, alum flocculation modification, copper sulfate, sulfanic acid flocculation modification, alkaline hypochlorite modification. The basic principle of the method is that DO reacts with manganese ions to form manganese dioxide, which further reacts iodine to liberate I2 in an amount chemically equivalent to the original dissolved oxygen. Mn2 plus O2 plus 2H minus 2OH minus MnO2 plus H2O. These are some chemical reactions. Mn means magnesium. 2 plus O2 plus OH minus. It's a base component. OH minus NOH. What's the meaning in sodium hydroxides? Na plus OH minus. This one. MnO2 plus H2O. MnO2, this iodine, is equal to 4H plus Mn2 plus I2. I2 plus is this liberated iodine titrate with sodium thiosulfate. Region manganese sulfate, alkali iodide, acid reagent, sulfuric acid, starch indicator, standard sodium thiosulfate. 0.025. What's the meaning in? It's a mole indicator, right? What's the meaning of mole? Weight by that molecular weight. Do you know how to calculate the molecular weight? How much NO, so normally we see NOH, how to calculate the molecular weight? Na is atomic number, I think 23. 23, oxygen 16, H1. So totally molecular weight is 40. So if you want, if you have to calculate the molecular mole. Mole means in so weight by molecular weight. So Wingler method, BOD with field sample at 1 millimeter sulfate. This is the method. BOD bottle with a field sample at 1 milliliter manganese sulfate, so no, with non concentration. At alkalic iodide as acid, that is the iron iodide component, and replace the stopper and shake to mix. The fifth step, add to 1 milliliter sulfuric acid, replace the stop and shakes to mix. Titrate 201 milliliter of sample in earlier flask, this one, and add 1 milliliter starch indicator blue color should develop, and then titrate sample until clear. This is the procedure in English. The calculation, if the whole content of juice for titration, DO, milligram per liter, V1 into N, into 1000 divided by V2 minus V3, DO, when only part of the contents have been used. V1 into N into 8 into 1000 divided by V4. V1 means volume of titan, sodium thiosulfate. V2 is equal to sampling, volume of sampling bottle. V3, volume of manganese sulfate and potassium iodide. Ka means potassium iodide. Manganese sulfate solution is added. V4, volume of the part of condensed titrated, normality of sodium thiosulfate. Right? Then water quality, good quality, 20 degrees C level, DO level, the 8 to 9 ppm O2. Normally you know what's the meaning of ppm. Seconds are the indicator of concentration. Moderate pollution, 4 to 5 ppm O2. Highly polluted, 4 to 4 greater than 4.5. So you can understand the basic idea of dilute DO, dissolved oxygen. Normally, the oxygen gas is present in the water because the fish use that type of oxygen. No, I already explained. Fish can only consume the dissolved oxygen in the presence of water. Otherwise, the atmospheric oxygen, normally atmospheric oxygen can't be consumed. So normally when we catch the fish out of the water out of the water, they can't live because the variance of oxygen gas. They can only take from the water, that the dissolved oxygen. So you can simply understand what's the meaning of the dissolved oxygen, and we also consume the oxygen gas. Oxygen gas is only present in the atmosphere. We can't consume the oxygen gas from water. So that's the things. You can understand the difference with the dissolved oxygen and atmospheric oxygen gas. Right. This is the chemical oxygen demand. COD is an empiric laboratory assay which measures the amount of organic matter contained water sample with the help of chemical oxidizing agents such as potassium dichromate, uh, dichromate and potassium permanganate. COD is means of measuring all organic matter, biodegradable and non-biodegradable. This test is useful in studying pollution, strength of domestic and wastewater. COD values are greater than BOD values. The open reflux method is suitable for wide range of wastewater is discussed here. The principle the organic matter gets oxidized completely by K2 potassium chromate oxide, K2Cr2O7 and silver sulfate. Silver means AgSO4, Ag2 plus SO4 2 minus. So AgSO4 are catalyzed in presence of H2SO4 to produce CO2 plus H2O. The excess of K2Cr2O7 remaining after reaction is titrated with FeNH4 twice plus SO4 twice. The dichromate consumed gives the O2 requires for oxidation of the organic matter. This is the reaction. The 3CH2O plus 16H plus Cr2O7 minus Cr3 plus CO2 plus 11H2O. One second. Okay, this is the reaction, the 3CH2O, right? It's a reagents, sulfuric acid reagent, standard ferrous ammonium sulfate, 0.01 N, standard ferrous ammonium sulfate, 0.1 N, ferrion indicator, mercuric sulfate, potassium, hydrogen methyllate. This is the standard, right? This is the some procedure start. The water sample, dissolved distilled water. They take 2.5 milliliter water sample in tube and 2.5 milliliter of distilled water another tube. At 1.5 milliliter potassium, tightly close the tubes kept in BOD for 2 hours. So then this one carefully add the 3.5 milliliter of sulfuric acid reagent to the both tubes. And after cooling to room temperature and transfer the content to the conical flask. So this is the chart, and after some the titrate, the continuous the titration, the color ranges to reddish brown. Some of the you see, you can understand. We'll see next slide. COD levels 0 to 5 milligram per liter indicates very clean. Parameter standards, inland surface water to 50 milligram. Right, okay, the parameter, the standard, the inland surface 250 milligram per liter, marine coastal area 250 milligram per liter. Okay. Biological oxygen demand. BOD is the amount of dissolved oxygen required to break down the organic material of sample by aerobic biological microorganism at certain temperature over specific period. Period of time. This parameter is determined with the consumption of oxygen by microorganism during the 5 days of incubation at 20 degrees. This is the reaction CH2O plus O2 CO2 plus H2O. Then VOD indicates the amount of pollution of water bodies. Lower body indicates the water is good quality for aquatic life or little aerobic activity, whereas the higher VOD indicates the water is highly polluted. When VOD is higher, then DO becomes lower. So aquatic organisms are unable to survive at normal rate. It becomes stressed and asphyxiate and may die. Determination of VOD. The most common and popular method for determination of biological oxygen demand is standard method, which is recognized by US EPA. It is not accurate quantity test, although it widely used and indicate the amount of pollution. So you have to know what's the purpose of this test BODT in measure the amount of pollution of water or wastewater. So it's a main thing. Measurement of pollution. The procedure is a little bit procedure. This one, and take two samples of water, record the DO level ppm of one immediately using the method described in dissolved oxygen test. The second water sample in incubation in complete darkness at 20 degrees Celsius for 5 days. If you don't have in an incubator, wrap the water sample bottle in aluminium foil or black electrical tape and store in a dark place at room temperature 20 degrees Celsius or 68 Fahrenheit. After 5 days, take another dissolved oxygen reading using the dissolved oxygen test kit. Subtract the day 5 reading from day reading to determine the BOD result in ppm. 1 second, I have signal issue. What's the meaning? Same device, 26, 16, and 27. So, what's the meaning? 26, 16, and 27, same device. Second. What's the meaning? You mentioned same device. Same device means I think same device. I will sort out later. Okay. Okay, we will see. The calculation, the represent the amount of oxygen required for the decomposition of any organic material. BOD is equal to BOD milligram per liter is equal to D1 minus D2 divided by volume of sample. But D1 means initial DO minus final DO divided by volume of sample. The BOD level, the normal BOD of the some collected sample from different sources. These are the nominal range. This one, the normal water, note to 3, river water 5 to 20, sewage water 52. 5200 industrial water, 152,000 land irrigation, 100 marine coastal area, 100 inland surface water, 30 public sewers, 350. So water is polluted by many organic matter in course of flow. When organic matter is present in the water supply, the bacteria present in water begin the process of breaking down this waste. With this much of available dissolved oxygen is consumed by aerobic bacteria and robbing other aquatic organism of the oxygen they need to live. Biological oxygen demand is a measure of oxygen used by microorganism to decompose this waste. A large quantity of organic waste water supply guarantees a large number of bacteria present to decompose in this waste. In this case, demand for oxygen will be high due to all the bacteria. So BOD level will be high. As the waste is consumed or dispersed through the water, BOD levels will begin to decline. The amount of oxygen by a sample sewage during the specific period, generally 5 days at specific temperature, generally 20 degrees Celsius, for the aerobic destruction of organic matter by living organism. The total BOD is the most of is a more significant food webs than to water quality. The sunlight, microalgae, cells, organics, these are the reaction in the part. Nitrates and water can contribute the hello. And when tell me, could you understand my presentation? What I am saying? And when tell me, did you able to see the my screen? This one nitrates and phosphate. Okay or not?
Yes, we can, sir.
I couldn't understand. You understand?
We can see, sir.
Oh, once again. You understand? Please let me know in chat. Did you understand my screen or not? Because I will change the device. Okay. I will set the message. Okay, okay. Okay, right. And when plants grow quickly, they also die quickly. So nitrates and phosphates in the body of water can contribute the high BOD levels. Nitrates and phosphates are plant nutrients and can cause plant life and algae to grow quickly. So when plants grow quickly, they also die quickly. The contributes to organic waste in water, which is decomposed by bacteria, resulting in a high BOD level. Is a biochemical oxygen demand different from biological oxygen demand? The biochemical oxygen demand measures the molecular oxygen utilized for a biochemical degradation of organic materials or carbonaceous demand, and the oxygen used to oxidize inorganic materials such as sulfides and ferrous iron. One second. Some students are in same volume. Okay, I will check this my sitting. I think I will adjust in the next class or onwards. Okay. That problem arise and okay. I will solve this issue. So I understand. Okay, next class onward, I sort out this issue. So the same device problem. Okay, today you manage. The biochemical oxygen demand measures the molecular oxygen utilized for the biochemical degradation. The oxygen used to oxidize inorganic materials such as sulfides and ferrous ions. It also may measure the amount of oxygen used to oxidize reduced forms of nitrogen. Biological oxygen demand only addresses the oxygen used by the bacteria to degrade organic substances. Yes, do you see what's the meaning of aerobic and anaerobic decomposition? Element carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, sulfate, phosphorus. Aerobic decay product. This one react with only oxygen, aerobic product. Anaerobic means this element can react with another with oxygen or without oxygen. You see what's the difference between aerobic decay product and anaerobic product? So it's the main thing you have to understand. What's the meaning? Aerobic reaction. Aerobic reaction is only reaction component with oxygen gas. Only react with the oxygen. This element. These are the main elements. Carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, sulfate, phosphate. Aerobic conditions about you have to understand what's the aerobic condition. In questions, then under the aerobic condition means this elements react only with oxygen content. So that is the aerobic decay product. Anaerobic means these are different type of the hydrogen, sulfate. C reacted with hydrogen. The the methane gas CH4 means then reacted with the nitrogen reacted with hydrogen, the ammonia. Here the H reacted with hydrogen reacted with the carbon, nitrogen, sulfate, oxygen. This is the anaerobic condition. The phosphate, there is a gas. Biochemical oxygen demand takes into account of oxygen used up for degradation of both carbonaceous and inorganic material. Carbonaceous means they only consist the carbon molecule. Inorganic means it's a different type of metals. Uh, calcium, magnesium, and inorganic materials like environmental significance. Sorry. I think I will sort out this problem, the same device problem next class onwards. I think some of the settings they are to prohibit this one. Okay, right. The measurement of BOD in raw and treated effluent. So environmental significance. The principal test for biodegradability. Sorry. Principal test for degradability of any sample and strength of the waste. So measures the amount of pollution, important parameters to assess the pollution of surface and groundwaters. Where contamination occurred due to the disposal of domestic and industrial effluents. Allows calculation of the effect of measurement of BOD in allows calculation of the effect of discharge on the oxygen resources of the receiving water, measurement of BOD in raw, influent, and treated. The wastewater is the standard practice to evaluate the treatment facility performance. Data from test used for the development of engineering criteria for the design of wastewater treatment plants. Used in studies, measure the self-purification capacity of the streams. So regulatory authorities to mean as a means of checking on the quality of effluents discharged to stream waters. One of the most important methods in sanitary analysis to determine the polluting power or strength of sewage, industrial waste, or polluted water. It serves a measure of amount of cleaning during the water required for the successful disposal of sewage by dilution. And we expect the items BOD standards. Most pristine rivers less than 1, moderately polluted rivers 2 to 8, ordinary domestic sewage 150 to 200, municipal sewage efficiency treated greater than 20. Any effluent to be discharged into the natural bodies of water should have BOD less than 30 milligram per liter. Drinking water usually has a BOD less than 1 milligram per liter. But when BOD value reaches 5 milligram per liter, the water is doubtful in purity. These are the water quality range. You will see. So I can ask the questions. This what are the factors affecting BOD? What is temperature? The elevated temperature decreases the level of the dilute BOF water, harming aquatic organism like fish, amphibians, and other. Increase the metabolic rate of aquatic animals and enzyme activity, resulting consumption of more food in a shorter time. High temperature leads oxygen dispersion into deeper water, contributing to anaerobic conditions. This can lead to food supply. Highest this results lifespan species overpollution. You know, some of the water presents in green color. Why? Some of the algae or microorganism presence. There's a microplants. You can understand, but the meaning. That's the algae. That's a cold algae presence in the water. This one, ethiopication. Ethiopication occurs due to oversupply of nutrients, which causes explosive growth, explosive growth of plants and algae. When such meeting the state of hypoxia, the primarily limiting factor is phosphorus, which promotes excessive plant growth and decay, favoring simple algae and plankton. It's a micro plant, this one plankton, and causes a severe reduction in water quality. Phosphate adheres tightly to soil, so it is mainly transported. Phosphates adheres tightly to soil, so it is mainly transported. Once to the lakes, phosphate cut into water is slow. Hence, the difficulty of ethiopication, the source of this excess phosphate are detergents and runoff and fertilizers. A higher level of the high levels of organisms such as microinvertebrate that are more tolerant of lower dissolved oxygen may appear and become numerous. Microorganisms needing higher oxygen levels will not survive. You can understand what's the meaning of the organism. The basics of the BOD test. The first step is obtain the equal volumes of water from the area to be tested. Dilute each specimen with the known volume of distilled water which has been thoroughly shaken to ensure the oxygen saturation. Oxygen meters used to determine the concentration of oxygen within the vials. The remaining vial is then sealed and placed in darkness and tested for oxygen content 5 days later. BOD is determined by subtracting the second meter reading from the test. Water from exceptionally clear might show a BOD of less than 2 milliliters of water. Raw sewage may give readings, maybe in thousands. The apparatus required be like, the type of a conical flask, measuring cylinder, glass topper, BOD bottles, wash bottle, and burette pipette with elongated tip. Chemical required: Di potassium hydrogen phosphate, starch indicator, distilled water, deionized water, manganese sulfate, that's a MnSO4, and Di potassium this one, sulfuric acid, starch indicator, sodium thiosulfate, and distilled deionized water, and potassium iodide, ammonium chloride, calcium chloride, magnesium sulfate, ferric chloride, potassium dihydrogen phosphate. They are the chemical reagents. Potassium hydroxide. So the samples for BOD test can be either grub or composite. Composite sample more preferable. Composite sample more preferred as it is more representative of a waste stream over a period of time and proportional to the amount of flow. Activity will continue after sample has been taken. The preservation of sample is not practical as biological activity will continue after the sample has been taken. Testing should be started as quickly possible, preferably 6 hours. If not possible, samples should be kept less than or equal 4 degrees Celsius. Do not allow the samples to freeze. Samples may be kept for no more than 48 hours before beginning the BOD test. The step to the BOD concentration in wastewater is more than sample due to biological activity. So it is necessary to dilute the sample before incubation to bring the oxygen demand and supply into appropriate balance. If not, diluted microorganism will use DO in the BOD bottle before 5-day incubation up. There is no way of knowing at what point during the 5 days DO reached zero. Dilution water, it is high quality organic free water. The required volume of water is aerated supply of clean compressed of air for at least 12 hours. This is the step pre-treatment and seeding. I think I have to sort out some of the same device problem where I said, and one second. Hello, what about the problem? Now it's okay. Screen sharing problem. Same device. Okay. This is the okay. The dilution in water, it is high quality organic free water the required volume of water is aerated with supply of clean, right? It is stabilized in incubating at 20 degrees Celsius for at least 4 hours. The pre-treatment, the samples with extreme pH values greater than 8.5 or less than 6 must be neutralized to pH 7.0 prior to testing. This is done by adding their H2SO4 or NaOH. Any samples containing residual chlorine must be pre-treated. Remove the chlorine before the testing run. This is done by adding sodium sulfate to sample. The seeding. Seeding means the the seeding process. The samples from sources like high temperature, extreme pHO having heavy metals could kill or injure microorganism. The conditions must be corrected and healthy active organism added. This is the laboratory procedure. Completely fill the BOD bottle with the dilution water. Into additional BOD bottles partially filled with the dilution water. Add dilution water until the bottles are completely filled. Stop each bottle, taking care to avoid trapping air bubbles inside the bottles as the bottle stoppers are inserted. Fill the top of each bottle neck around the stopper with dilution water. Determine the initial DO content of each set of duplicate bottles, including the dilution water blank. Place the remaining bottles in the incubator. Okay, sorry, sorry. The completely fill to BOD bottles with dilution of water. In additional BOD bottles partially fill with the dilution water and dilution of water until the bottles are completely filled. Stopper is fill the top of bottle neck around the stopper sorry, with dilution water. Determine the initial DO content of each set of duplicate bottles. These are the test laboratory test procedure. We will see the some video clips. We can understand. So this is the conclusion. BOD, initial dilution, oxygen minus final in the bottle volume divided by sample volume. The major interferences BOD test are substances that inhibit the growth of microorganisms, chlorine, minerals, acids, and heavy metals. Excessive nitrates can interfere with the BOD determination. Growth of algae in presence of light can increase the DO. Artificates and BOD testing results from residues building up in BOD and dilution water bottles. Variation in BOD test is subject to number of factors, temperatures, weather, etc. Result can vary widely from day to day. or even hour to hour. This is the BOD and COD procedure, calculation procedures. Right, almost finished this session. So I will give some question to write this. So I may ask the question for during the examination. What's the meaning of BOD? Or define the BOD, biological or biochemical oxygen demand. Write it. This is the I will give some time. Or now 10:15, or you can take some interval 10:15 to 10:30, or you can come to 10:30. Okay. We will see the calculation. Right. Okay. This definition, I can ask the question. What's define the BOD, biochemical or biological oxygen demand? You can try this note. Huh? This one. Okay. It's no need to write the no need to write this procedure, and then I can ask the question. Write the formula of BOD calculation. So you can write in both condition, undiluted initial. I will give the question from this PDF only. I can't take the question from other source. Only the whatever I give you, you can study only that one. That's enough. And I have to give the assignment also as per your module descriptor. I think 4 assignments and 2 practicals. Yes, they are. Firstly, I will give the 3 assignments combinedly. Number 1, number 2, number 3. You can submit as combinedly. Okay, I will give later. Sir, then you write this one. How to calculate the BOD? So one is the dilution method, undiluted, and diluted. So you can write this undiluted. Undiluted means initial oxygen minus final dissolved oxygen. So simply you can understand dissolved oxygen means only water. Water has a dissolved oxygen. This for human beings cannot for life, right? So you write this one diluted condition initial oxygen minus final oxygen. BOD of sheet you're right, I will give the sometimes. This is the undiluted method. So this is the method of measuring BOD. Yeah? I will ask the question.
Hello. Anyone?
Yes, that's when the method measuring procedure can write this one, and no need test procedure. Measure of water measures of water question. Some of the most basic and important measures. Some of the most basic important measures. These are the biochemical oxygen demand, solids, nitrogen, bacteria contents. Yeah, presently in the water. So you note this one. What write the I may ask question. Write the sum of the most basic and important measures of water quality. So you can write this all. Write this. I think 5 points. Note down this one. So I already explained the relationship between milligram per milliliter and ppm. How to convert the milligram per liter into ppm, or ppm into milligram per liter, or milliliter per liter. So milligram per liter means what's the meaning? Only water, only considering only volume of water. Volume of water means volume of 1 liter water. So you can get the idea about dilution factor. What's the meaning? 1:10 means dilution factor is 10. So it's a little bit calculations. You can understand, no? So you write this one, the points. I may ask the equation. What's how to calculate the DO? I will give the assignment also. You can get the answer from this PDF only. No more. No need to search more and everything. I will think from what I given to you. This is the equation. Okay, right. This is the water quality and relationship between DO level. So water quality and DO level 8 to ppm. It's a good quality, moderate, or pollution 4 to 5 ppm. Nearly greater than 4.5 pm is highly polluted. So you note this one also, note this one. So I asked the question, write the water quality with DO level range. So you have to write this one, the water quality, good quality, moderate pollution, high pollution, and then you have to write this range. So you note in your book. Right. So I can write the important parameters to calculate the COD in laboratory. So you can study. Okay, no need to write this one. Okay, so points. I can ask the principal. What is the COD? Write the principle of determine the COD. So you can write these points. Let's say now the organic matter gets oxidized completely. Get write the principle of to measuring the COD in laboratory. Huh? So the organic matter gets oxidized completely key to Cr2O7 silver satellite. To note this point and these points and another. Write this one. Okay, you can write this reagents. The standard. You can mention all this one also. Standard potassium dichromate, sulfuric reagent, standard ferrous ammonium sulfate, and ferric ferroin indicator, mercuric sulfate, and potassium hydrogen. Try this one. Right. This one and no need this one. COD. This is the formula. The COD means B minus A. F phase means that's a funnel flask. This one. B minus A into N into 1000. Right. Don't need this one. So you can write the indicates. The lower BOD indicates water is good quality for aquatic life or little aerobic activity, whereas the higher BOD indicates the water is highly polluted. When BOD is higher, then DO becomes lower. So aquatic organisms are unable to survive at normal rate. It becomes stressed and asphyxiate and may die. So you right about how you can the questions. Describe about the indication of BOD. BOD indicator. A lower, so you can write lower BOD indicates water is good quality. So I can ask for 3 marks. So you write this lower BOD indicates this is important thing. Lower BOD indicates water is good quality. Higher indicate high polluted. So BOD is higher than DO becomes lower. So aquatic organisms are unable to survive at normal rate. It becomes stressed and apacitate and may die. Right? This one. Okay. This is normally you know this one. It's a calculation part. This is the BOD level, 1 milligram remarks very clean, 2 milligram per liter clean, and 3 milligram per liter fairly BOD level, this one, right? And 5 milligram per liter doubtful, 10 milligram is a contaminated. The BOD of some collected samples from different sources, normal water 0 to 3, river water 5 to 20, sewage water 50 to 100, industrial water 150 to 1000, right? This is the range. So known in this one. This is the very important things. The differentiate between the aerobic and anaerobic decomposition. I already explained you. Aerobic means only consist the oxygen component. Anaerobic means and another combo, another molecular. That's a reaction with carbon react with hydrogen sulfate and oxygen like this one. Aerobic condition only react with oxygen gas. Anaerobic condition means this one. So you have to know the difference between the aerobic and anaerobic decomposition. So please note down this. So you have to understand this the term. What's the meaning the aerobic and anaerobic? So that's right. You write this element C NHSP aerobic deca product like this and aerobic. Anaerobic means this carbon react with hydrogen. This create the methane. It's called normally you know methane means that we use the LPG gas. That's that one. N react with hydrogen ammonia. I already told you that one. H react with carbon, nitrogen, H HS means sulfide, hydrogen sulfide gas. It's a gas one. Everything gas, not a solid one. Please note down this one. So main important point is the meaning of the aerobic and anaerobic. Chemical reaction with only oxygen content, only oxygen and another molecule. That okay. So I may ask the question for this one, a simple one. You can memorize. Then this one. Environmental significance. Principal test for biodegradability of any sample and strength of the waste measures amount of pollution. Important parameters to assess the pollution of surface and groundwaters where contamination occurred due to the disposal of domestic and industrial effluent. So measurement of BOD in raw influent and treated effluent wastewater is a standard practice to evaluate treatment facility performance. Data from BOD test used for development of engineering. Right? So you write the questions. Explain about the environmental significance of BOD tests. So you write this 5 points. This one, principal test biodegradability of any sample. So I may ask the question for 5 marks, 4 or 5 marks, right? Write the or explain about the environmental significance of BOD test. Please note down this one. And you write the key points. I think normally 5 points, note down. Okay, then significance. That's enough. BOD standards. So most pristine rivers less than 1, moderately polluted rivers 2 to 8, ordinary domestic sewage 150 to 200, municipal sewage efficiently treated less than 20. Any influent to be discharged into natural bodies of water should have BOD less than 30 milligram per liter. Drinking water usually has BOD less than 1 milligram per liter. Okay, it's important thing. Drinking water. But when BOD value reaches 5 milligram per liter, the water is doubtful in purity. We already see that when the BOD level in ppm. You see, this is in ppm. 1 to 2 very good. 2 3 to 5 we are moderately clean. 6 to 9 poor, somewhat polluted. 100 to greater than greater, very poor, very polluted, contains organic waste, right? The factors affecting this one also important, but what are the factors affecting BOD? The temperature, evaluate the temperature, decrease the level of dilution of oxygen, harming aquatic organisms like fish, amphibian and others. Increase the metabolic rate of aquatic animals. So you note down these points. What are the factors affecting BOD? And explain it. So you put the temperature, elevated temperature decreases, then this one. So increase the metabolic rate of aquatic animals and enzyme activity, resulting consumption of more food in shorter time. So they consume the oxygen. So that's the case. This can lead to increase the bacterial levels when there is ample food supply. Higher water temperature increase the plant growth rates. You know, you heard about photosynthesis due to the cause. Photosynthesis, yes. This result in shorter So you have to know what the color presence of water. Some of the water presence are in green color. Some of them yellow color. Some of them reddish. Some of them brown. So due to the presence of alga, some of the chemical presence, so water is present color. So normally, you know, I have already explained. So the properties of good water. No color, no taste, no odor, no stability. This is the properties of good water, means drinking water. So you can write this, the factors affecting BOD, right? Ethiopication. The eutrophication occurs due to oversupply of nutrients, which causes explosive growth of plants and algae. For an example, that's fertilizer. When the excess amount of fertilizer used in paddy field, so crop yield is high. Normally, but in the meaning time, the soil and water may be polluted. So it's a problem. So we have to use whatever already we mentioned, the measurements, everything in particular amount of when we increase amount of fertilizer or urea or weedicides, it will be harm to soil and water and also human beings. It's a problem. Normally they are mentioning weedicides bottle mention how much amount of weedicide should be applied in particular amount of area, how to mix the water, how much volume of water it should be added, everything in prescribed, right? But when we use in excess amount of weedicide or fertilizer, it may be polluted by soil pollution or water pollution, and a human being also affected, right? It's the factor. At higher levels of BOD, at the higher level of BOD levels, organisms such as macroinvertebrates that more tolerant of low dissolved oxygens may appear become, this is a very useful insect to agriculture. It used this organism is used to decompose the fertilizers like cabbage, that's leaves, and like this insect, or already already seen in the field. It is the eco-friendly organism. That's what's the meaning, the eco-friendly organism. Decompose the how dung, decompose the cabbage and leaves and everything. This one, right? The basics of BOD test. The first step this sample already I explained this one. These are the apparatus. But I may ask a question: what are the apparatus required for determining the BOD test? So BOD test in laboratory. But you can write the incubator and glass toppered BOD bottles, conical flask, measuring cylinder, wash bottle, burette stand. Please note down this point. What are the apparatus required to determine the BOD, biological oxygen demand? That means in laboratory. So you note down this one. So these are the apparatus required for BOD test. These are the chemical agents, reagents required for this one, right? These are some sample collections. The BOD test can be the graft composite sample more preferred as it is representative waste stream over period of time. The sample should be taken at a point of well mixed and proportional to the amount of the flow. Preservation of sample is not practical as biological activity will continue after sample has been taken. Testing should be started as quickly as possible, preferably less than 6 hours. Do not allow the sample to freeze. So this is the important conditions, and did not allow the sample to freeze. The BOD concentration in wastewater is more than a sample due to biological activity. And it is necessary to dilute the sample before incubation. So this is the important word, the incubation. This maintain the temperature, so 20 degrees up to hold the practical period. So practical period means is 2 days. If we consider 2 days, we have to maintain the same temperature at 20 degrees Celsius for 2 days. That's an incubator. Normally we can call oven. You may heard about oven. Yeah, that's one also called incubator. Bring to the oxygen demand and supply appropriate balance. If not diluted, a microorganism will use up the DO in BOD bottle BO before 5-day incubation time up. Time is up. There is no way knowing the point during the 5 days. So we have to maintain up to 5 days. So we have to maintain the temperature at 20 degrees Celsius up to 5 days. The dilution of water, it is high quality organic free water. The required volume of water is aerated with the supply of clean compressed air at least 12 hours. It is stabilized by the incubating 20 degrees Celsius for at least 4 hours. It is stabilized, okay? They mentioned needs up to for at least 4 hours. Right. Pre-treatments. This one samples with extreme pH level. You see, the pH is varying 1 to 4. Okay. pH range how much? Not to 14. Not a 4, sorry, 1 to 4. 1 to 14, 1 to 4. Right? It's a 7 is a neutral, like pure water, distilled water is called not 7, like 6.992, something. Yeah, that's a neutral one. It's a 1. pH 1 means, is I already mentioned, concentrated acid. That's sulfuric acid. Is the pH is nearly 1. And concentrated base like sodium hydroxide is called up to 14, not 14, that's 12, but sodium hydroxide nearly 13, but potassium hydroxide, it's the same group but it's a high molecule number, Na is equal to, I think, 11 molecular weight. Potassium hydroxide, nearly I think 23 is a high concentrate base. Potassium hydroxide, nearly 13 the pH. So you can understand. So normally we can see the our daily life, the pH level. We already talked about in the construction industry, the pH. In major construction site, the consultant asked to contractor submit the pH report of the water, some of the major site. You can, if you are working construction major construction site, normally you see the pH report you need to submit. Okay, that's one. Okay, I already explained that things, so you remember that one. So this is done by hydrogen sulfate, sulfuric acid. This one, sulfuric acid, H2SO4, and NOH, sodium hydroxide. This is the pre-treatment and seeding. The process of adding bacteria to a sample. Sample sources high temperature, extreme pH, or having heavy metals could kill the injured microorganism. The conditions must be corrected and healthy active organism added. Okay. Right. This is the VOD test and experiments and definition. It's a simple portion. Now need to worry about this one. You can face the examinations, but you can study for the knowledge and few this one. Okay. Okay. At this level, I am going to stop. We will see in next class. Huh? Okay. Thanks. Okay. I will share this recording and the previous one on I think 6 one I not share. Okay, I will share that one and okay.